Good morning. Thanks, Dr. Lustig. Thanks so much, Representative Ford, Dr. Maida, Kathy, and wonderful people at Loretto Hospital. I am here today to speak on behalf of families and friends of people who have overdosed. And let me tell you guys, I speak for a living. But today, after listening to those statistics, I can't help but to be overwhelmed. Can you guys understand what's happening out here? Do you really get what's happening? Honestly, show of hands if you get this today. Thank you. My name is Jamelia Hand. I'm a certified addictions counselor, a mental health therapist. I'm also an author, trainer, advocate, volunteer. I'm on more professional boards than I can count, and I have a moral and professional obligation to addictions and overdose in particular. And I don't say all of this to you guys because I want you to in any way be impressed with my credentials. I share it because even with the education, knowledge, and experience I have, it was not enough to save my father. From the moment I was born, I knew that I was loved. And how do I know this, right? Because how many memories can you remember from being a child? But I know because he combed my hair, and it was a lot of hair, trust me. I know it because he talked to me like I was a person, even when I was too little to understand. I know because he, sorry, he played with me, and he helped me to pick out my clothes. He cooked for me, and the two times he had to discipline me, he cried. He also sang to me. But very early in my life, around 6 or 7, he was a victim of a robbery and he was shot. And this is where my family's trauma began. He was shot in his pancreas in a place where the bullet couldn't be removed. And if they were to remove the bullet, he'd become a diabetic. So he elected to keep his pancreas, but he was in a lot of pain most of the time. So in time, he stopped combing hair. He stopped cooking for me. He stopped singing for me. He was barely present. Our roles basically changed, and I became the parent. And it didn't take long before his pain would cross over into addiction to his medication. I can remember one day awaking from a nap and finding him on the back porch. I tapped him, and he fell down the stairs. He was still in an upright position, but he couldn't hear me. I remembered hearing a snoring noise. His skin felt clammy, and I could remember his lips starting to turn dark. This was the first time that I would witness him overdose, but it wouldn't be the last. And over the years, his addiction got worse, and I continued to arm myself with the tools needed to save him from his illness, but it didn't work. No matter how many detoxes or treatment programs he was admitted to, I couldn't save him. It seemed like with every degree that I got trying to learn about his illness got worse until April 27, 2010. I got the call. I'd been preparing for almost all of my life. And I must admit it, I always expected to get the call. When someone lives a risky lifestyle, you expect to get the call. But I wasn't ready. And I remember everything about that day. I remember how I felt. I remember what I smelled. I remember what I heard is tattooed on my brain forever. I'll never forget. And how and why he died is the single most important question that I ask myself every morning. So what do I want you all to take from this? I need you to understand that you have a role. You have an obligation. When someone overdoses, it's like a tornado that rips through the lives of families and your communities, and it leaves nothing but devastation in its wake. even with someone with a degree in counseling, could not save her father. So, whenever you hear someone say, I don't know anyone like that, or it can never happen to my child, or it can never happen to my parent, they could never be a victim of overdose, understand that they can. And in many cases, they will. So, to wrap things up, overdose is an unbelievably traumatic experience. And if you can spare someone the pain of overdose, you should. It's no secret that there's a direct correlation between trauma and addiction. So please, if you don't do anything else for me, take this information you've been given today very seriously and do everything you can to protect every little girl or every little boy from having the experience that I did. Thank you.